We got a lot of folks who don't know what's going on. They think the only time they have to vote is when we run for president.
Right.
And the president's running. And that's ignorant. And we got people in District 10, not at the local level. Those people, Teresa, they are struggling over there. And we got this lady who said, I got 4 districts into one. And she complains about that. She does nothing. And the only time she shows up, if a camera is on. And I would tell you, my neighborhood, we had a homeowners association meeting. Right. Invited her, because at the time she was, before they allocated those districts, she was I was in her district. And she would not come to that meeting because there was no camera involved.
Well, look, invite me. I don't got to have a camera.
Okay.
I don't have to have a camera. I have, the pandemic really taught me when I could not do in-person events, because I always did events, educating business owners. That's my thing. And also me and my husband putting on events at church. We have done events where one person was there, and we done did events where 5,000 people was there.
Okay.
It don't matter. I'm gonna do, if I say I'm gonna do something or be somewhere, I'm gonna be right there. And I don't need a camera, because the goal at the end of the day, I've had people to come up to me, well, you should do this and you should do that. I said, well, I did do that. What was you? I was there.
Right.
So that's my goal and my purpose, is to keep us informed. And so much misinformation is going on. I am so bad. And that's what's turning our people off. Because they're tired of hearing this misinformation and don't know the difference. That's why I want to partner with the library to get AI literacy training so we can know how to decipher the fake from the fake.
Exactly.
Because we don't know, and guess what? Our culture gonna be obsolete if we don't put our input in this AI.
Right.
The future generation ain't gonna know nothing about our
All
struggles
they're gonna do is
and
get
our
involved,
contribution.
because this is gonna be
Exactly.
the leader right here.
So I know a lot of people is not fond of AI and technology, but we're gonna have to embrace it. It's already here. And these children is gonna get involved with it. And if you wanna keep up with what your children is doing, y'all got to learn this AI.
So what is the biggest problem? What is the biggest thing that you see at District 14?
Right now is food deserts, access to health care. You have Baptists over here on this end, but last year I had 3 brain strokes. And brain surgery.
She had
I'm
no
sorry.
strokes, and she had a heart attack.
Yeah, he had a test. He
got better too. Quickly.
Oh, I had 3 brain
I like
surgeries.
that. I appreciate that.
But since I was living with a brain aneurysm for 12 years, I'm notorious in going to the doctor. I made sure him and my sons go. So, and he was working at the state. So I had good insurance. So I kept saying, I'm like, well, God, if I had good insurance, I went to the best doctor, why didn't they tell me? Little did I know, they knew all along. Every time I went to the emergency room with a migraine, or every time I went to the emergency room feeling dizzy, they would do these CT CAT scans. They were seeing this aneurysm, this lesion, but wasn't telling me. I'm the patient.
Wow.
So when I found out, and he, the attendant ER doctor took him to the desk, because they didn't have the equipment to bring the film in the room. I said, Ernest, take a picture of it on your phone and bring it back to me. And we was in the emergency room, and I was so angry. I said, I wanted to snatch the IV out, I wanted to throw everything, and I had to sit there and I had to pray. I said, now God, I said, I did everything right as a person to do, to maintain my health. I said, they did a disservice to me. And he said, well, you better make a choice, daughter. You didn't fight the doctors who didn't tell you, or fight to save your life. I wanted to fight to save my life because I wasn't ready to leave him yet, or my children, or my grandchildren. So going through that journey, it took me 6 months just to get into the neurologist. Mayo Clinic would not take me. But the young lady that passed out, and what she was on vacation on spring break, she was all over the news. They flew her in, Mayo Clinic took her, but she wound up dying. So in a sense, I'm kind of glad I didn't go to Mayo, because I probably would be dead. So I said, okay, I looked at my insurance. The doctors I needed to get to, they wouldn't take that 0 premium Obamacare bronze plan. Not now one. So I said, okay, I'm in graduate school getting my dual doctorate, which I still am now. I graduate next fall.
Amen.
I use my stipend money from school to pay my insurance premiums 3 months in advance, so I wouldn't lose no coverage. So I had to upgrade my insurance to the silver plan, get me a PCP, and I had to, because I have a healthcare background, I had to interview all the doctors because I wanted to make sure they knew how to treat and diagnose what I was dealing with. I didn't need nobody that was just going to be doing something to be doing something. And I have a black primary care doctor. It's a female. I was intentional. And I sought her out, and I said, I need a black female. I had one before, I had to fire her. Because she didn't take my migraine, my scan seriously. She kept dragging her feet, so I got another one. And I came correct. I said, look, I need somebody that's aggressive. I need somebody that's going to run this race with me, and I need you to authorize stuff that these specialists authorize. I don't need you dragging your feet, because my life is at stake. And when I made it plain to her up front, she understood the assignment. And I said, you just do the authorization, I'll find the doctors. I said, I don't want you looking, I'm gonna look.
Okay.
I'm gonna find a specialist. And the man that I found, my neurologist, it took me 6 months to get to him, he knew the #1 cerebral vascular surgeon. But he tried everything to keep me from going. I say, man, I'm sitting up here with a hole behind my ear where my brain is open, and you gonna tell me ain't nothing wrong? I say, something wrong with you. So me and my husband kept having a conversation, Theresa, if ain't no bone there, what is there? That's what we wanted to know. So we had to push, they did all these tests, all this stuff, same answer. I said, we gotta see another specialist. So he said, yeah, I got 2, 3 of them here. And I looked at the names, and I prayed. And I looked at the names, I read the curriculum, I said, this one, Dr. Ricardo Henry. He's Brazilian. He was with the Ireland neurosurgery at Baptist Medical Center. I said, that's where I want to go. Went to him. It took me 3 months to get in with him. He did a angiogram where he went inside with the camera. Found the aneurysm this long. Behind my right ear, wrapped like the S on Superman down my spine. That I've been walking around with for 12 years, and all I had to do is get hit right here, the wrong way.
You just have headaches, migraines.
Chronic migraines, dizziness,
And then,
lightheadedness, thirsty, muscle joints hurting. And sometimes it come in all together or different times. And I said, and he said, well, how long you been having these symptoms? I said, since 2014. Wow. No doctor said anything. So when I met him and he did the test, he scheduled the first surgery on July 7th. He had to, because I was having pulsating tendonitis. It was so loud, I thought a boom box was in my ear. I was stuffing pillows, trying to cloud it out. I couldn't lay flat on my back because I thought I had nasal drainage in my throat. Couldn't find out that was brain fluid. I had too much fluid on my brain. But I didn't have a stroke, and I didn't have a heart attack. I still remember everything. And because I kept telling God, I said, God, I went to school all this time. I'm getting ready to graduate. I said, I can't be losing memory now. I say, I'm going to keep paying for a student loan that I can't finish. So I had to stop my company. I had to stop doing everything. I was his caregiver. He got hurt before me. So only thing kept me saying not to go lose memory was going to school and doing my home. And I was taking 1 class at a time. So with that journey, he had to redo all the plumbing in his ear and redirect the aneurysm for the blood to go down in my body. Because it had been sitting there for 12 years. So after that surgery, they had to deal with the brain fluid that was running in the back of my throat. That came in September. But before that, my mom passed away in August. I couldn't go to the funeral because I couldn't be around people. They didn't want me to get no bacteria infection. So I had to watch it virtually. But I saw her before she went in hospice. So we got a chance to connect before she passed away. So through all them battles, fighting with the insurance, getting them to pay, Florida Blue paid all 3 of them surgeries, almost $500,000. And I had no out-of-pocket responsibility.
It's my company I work for.
But I gotta teach the residents on how to do what I did to get to the right specialist
Yes, that's right.
to keep them to have a quality of life.
Exactly.
And it's because of my background in health insurance and because of my background working in Florida Blue and the other insurance companies, knowing how to investigate and evaluate what doctor you need to be treating you, that look at you like a human being.
That's right.
Right, they ain't trying to shuffle you out in 15
There's a number.
minutes.
And I went in there and I told Dr. Hammer, because he's Brazilian, I said, look, I done had doctors lying to me before I got to you. I done had doctors keeping information from me before I got to you. I said, I want to know everything. I'm nosy. I said, I want to know what you gonna do, when you gonna do it, how you gonna do it, how you gonna bill it, and you better make sure that black man know everything going on while I'm under anesthesia. I wasn't playing. I said, because I can either help you or I can hurt you, because I know how to file complaints on doctors. With the insurance and with the board. So that's the information why healthcare justice matters to me, because so many black women symptoms are not taken serious because they think we crazy. And that's what I was told back in 2014. Oh, ain't nothing wrong with you. That's just in your head.
I know exactly.
So my first priority is the healthcare, because if we're not well and if we're not healthy, we can't fight and do nothing else.
Right.
So healthcare comes first, and then housing.
Oh,
This affordable housing, this rent is crazy and out of control. The landlords here have too much privilege.
not
and
here, the
freedom.
landlords out of state, and the buildings are here. So they don't even care nothing about the buildings.
Of
They
course.
out of state getting all their money going.
But
on
they
this
have,
rent.
friends here. See, that's where y'all missing the connection. They may be out of state.
Yeah, but then you're right.
They got
people
friends
in
here.
these offices that are running the business the way they want it ran, but they're not here. I mean, my sister's rent went up $400. $400. $400 from $800 to $1,200, y'all.
Yeah.
And the people don't even, the landlord don't even operate. They don't even live here. They're not even stationed here. So
Exactly.
that housing is, and I know your question is, what's the problem? That is, that's a big
The
one.
house.
What can we do though to keep them from, or put a cap on how far they can
That's one
of that
legislator, we
rent?
can do that. But I don't know if y'all saw, I saw Michael Epps and his wife. They have this project they can do called Buy Back the Block.
Yep.
That is what I want to bring to District 14, to help and teach us how to buy our own block back. Where we control the
Right.
real estate in our district. Where we control how much rent we pay. And it's easy to do. It's just you got to be, we so want to be entertained so much, we don't want to be educated. And that's what got to flip first.
Not want to be educated.
We have to be educated, and the only way we can do that is buy our block back and take ownership. When my father was alive, he owned the house I lived in College Gardens on Kings Road. The house next door, he owned a couple of properties on the east side, and he owned properties in his home state where he grew up in Georgia.
Sound like my
So my dad was always into real estate ownership, and that's what we need in District 14 and really in all our communities, to buy back our block. And then that way we can control the rent, and we can each one help one and be able to rent out and help build somebody else up to get them in a position to own their own property, their own house. So one of my plans on the proposal at the state level is a youth savings program to help close the gap. Where now we take taxes to go to a bright future, we can take some of them dollars to open savings accounts for every young person in the state from age 0 to 25. So by the time they graduate or go to college, they either can start a business, buy a house, or be able to go to college debt-free.
Debt-free, that's right.
That's the goal. When we can start that in this generation, then it will help the older generations to be able to not be so reliant on our Social Security, because that's the next thing I'm concerned about, is Social Security. Those that's on Social, because he's on it. But he can't go back and do what he used to. His injuries, you don't see him, but he
He's on
has,
disability.
yes, he have nerve damage real bad in multiple places.
Because y'all not old enough for Social Security. I heard this.
He is, I'm not.
Disability.
He's 50,
You can be on
59.
disability at age 2.
Mhm.
If you are disabled, you can get benefits at age 2. You know that, you probably got it for your son.
Mhm.
Nope, I don't.
You don't?
I
You need to
don't.
apply.
You,
I
why?
don't. I'm gonna tell you why. So
Why? Oh,
There's a lot that, I have overcome myself, and, I'm just so grateful that I'm able to do things that I need to do and can take care of myself and can pour into the community where I need to be. I'm a returning citizen, and so I work for an organization called Harriet Tubman Freedom Fighters, and we fight and advocate for returning citizens, and in doing that, we also are advocating for suppressed voters.
Exactly.
Because we are number one on the chopping block in voter suppression and things like that. So being a returning citizen, things that led to that are things just like what you were saying with the mental health, and there are issues. People don't just get on drugs. There's something going on, you know. And so I'm just so grateful to have, I decided I have conditions that'll give me I can take disability myself. But as long as I can put one foot in front of the other, I won't claim it. Now when I get to the point where he can't do what he did, then that's when I'll do it. But with my son now, it's an issue. You know why? I have to, and Rosemary can tell you, I got to continue to leave from what I'm doing to go see about Zion. So now I kind of understand why benefits are intact for children with special needs. Because you can't, if I had a traditional job, I'd be in trouble. And I work traditionally from home in the evening. From home in the evening. Because I can open my door and look down the hall. I got mirrors everywhere and check him out. You know, but if I was 9 to 5, I'm in trouble. He'd get kicked out of Boys and Girls Club. He couldn't see an extended day. It just, they really want me to come pick him up early at school. I mean, it leads boils down to that. So I can see why, you know, you would need it. But I wasn't going to try to even attempt to do anything like that. My mom told me, you might want to think about applying for SSI for Zion.
it's a benefit that you're entitled to as a citizen of the United States of America. I did Medicare. You say you don't think if you could put one foot forward. Do you know people putting a lot of feet forward and get all kind of benefits because they know they're entitled to it? You should go to your Social Security Administration and apply. Sit down and talk to those reps and tell them about your son's situation and let them know you are entitled to that. I did Medicare enrollment. I was in Medicare management for years. You are giving the government, you letting somebody else take the money that you're entitled to.
That's what I was gonna say. That's your
Okay.
tax
I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
mean to cut you off.
you're good. You just confirming what I want to say.
Yeah.
That's what your tax dollars are
You
for.
paying
And
taxes,
that's
you're
where,
entitled to that.
that's why they fool us where
Right.
we're not entitled to that. Because even with him, when he got on Social Security disability, he went crazy about it. Because I tried 7 times when I was
And
diagnosed.
they want you to stop.
And
Say, I
they
don't feel
did,
like it.
I had to appeal mine all the way up to the
right.
United States Attorney General when Jeff Sessions was in office. And I said, I am not finna go through that foolishness. That was just too much. The administrative judge looked at my background because I had a dual master's degree and said that I'm too educated to be on disability. That's what
That has nothing to do with
But
it.
he said it.
That has nothing to.
He said it.
He
Because
Wow.
and the attorney told me, they said, Ms. Gamble, if you would have just had a high school diploma, they would have gave it to you.
That's right.
Women who are highly educated will not
Are you serious?
get disability. No ma'am.
They were not seeking, but they're entitled to it.
They won't, I don't appeal 7 times. That's why I haven't tried no more. So when he got it, I knew what hurdles to help him get through. And he got it without even having a hearing. His attorney's fought for him to get it.
Don't you have to not work though for a year?
I wasn't working. I was out of work for almost
And that's
4
why I want to
years.
apply for myself. I can't, what am I doing for a year?
Because I started applying when I first got sick. I was with the state. And because I was connected to a job, they wouldn't give it to me, even though I was out on leave. But when the state finally let me go, and then I applied again, then they kept giving me all these issues. I had to get witness statements. I had to get, track how many days I missed from work and all medical records and this, that. I mean, it was just a whole bunch of junk. Regardless of what I signed, what I did. The administrative judge wasn't having it. And that particular judge has a history of denying black women benefits. Because there was a white woman went in right before me She was able to take her sister in there with her. He couldn't come in there with me with the hearing at all. It was just me and my attorney.
Yes.
So it's
Wow.
already biased
Yeah, it was-
against black
Yes,
people.
because everything you described, it was the opposite of my family. I went in there with my brother when he got his, I went in there with my sister. I had one,
That's terrible.
one of my older sisters, you all, and I know it's not about me. My older sister, she passed away, but she was very sick, working for Coach,
Mm-hmm.
and she failed, and she had to go on disability. They gave us all this paperwork. I sat down and I went through every line with her, filled out information. She got approved the first time. The first
Well,
time.
see, he might have got mad at me because I wrote President Obama.
Oh, yeah,
He left
because-
office. And I told President Obama, I need you to give
Come
me
on
a
now.
Social Security hearing before you leave, because I know 45 coming in there, and I
Ain't
may not get it.
Right.
So that might be why the judge didn't give it to me, because I wrote President Obama, and he sent me a little line back and say he got it. So that's why I told you, I am not scared to go to the bed, to talk, to write. I get their attention because I will aggravate them. I will bug them until they respond. So, like she said, you gonna need that help for your son. How old is he?
He's 11.
See,
Yes,
you need the help for him now.
And when I tell you he is out
You
of
can
control.
apply for
You need it now.
supplemental,
SS.
what's the SSI, supplemental, security income.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, they might even go all the way back from the time he was born.
That's right. They will.
take your,
They will.
take your IEPs with you. Take your
Don't
IEPs with
sit
you.
on that
Get your
money.
doctor's office
She
to
said, don't sit
Don't
there.
sit
No.
on that money.
Get your doctor's office to write a statement. My undergrad professor, Dr. Kenneth Brockington, rest his soul, he was a proponent as an educator to help parents get disability for their children.
That's right.
And nobody here in Jacksonville does it anymore like he do. I mean, he literally, feel like she said, fill the paperwork out, tell you, give you exactly what the doctors need to say to make
That's
sure
right.
you get approved the first time. And then when they had to renew, he was right there to help them renew to keep the benefits going.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need that if he's 11 to
How old
help you.
was he? He was like that when at birth or something close to, when was he diagnosed with that? I know we're not here to talk about your son.
He was diagnosed in 2023.
And how old was he then?
He was 9,
9.
actually going on 10.
You may not be able to get a lot back money because you got a diagnosis current, but you need to stop so you can go forward and get what you entitled to.
But
They
you know
just
what?
referred him to the child psychologist.
But you
His
know what, if
pediatrician.
he had behavior signs before
Bad.
diagnosis, they may
They
go
may
back.
go back.
Because
They
that
may.
means the medical profession didn't pick up on it sooner than later.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't exclude prior to the diagnosis. I would include all of it up until this point and just make sure you keeping up with everything. And see, this is where, again, you have a state representative who don't advocate nothing for education.
She doesn't.
To make sure that our children dollars are being for the service. So now you fill them forms out for that school for them to get that extra money.
Yeah.
Then when you go in, you need to call for a meeting and say, okay, how is this money being used for my son? What's his name?
Zion.
Zion. What's the itemized breakdown? How are y'all allocating this extra money y'all had me to sign for y'all to get for Zion? That is going for him and not no other student in your school.
That's right.
Because you as a mama have a right to ask for that.
Okay.
It's not the same, like, I understand how you feel, I think I do. Is that you don't want to, you know how something, I know when I was on, what they call it, welfare, I don't know what they call it. I used to feel bad because I felt like something's wrong with me, I shouldn't be doing that, whatever. But once I got on my feet, I stopped. But that's when I was supposed to stop.
Right.
Because I'm supposed to be ongoing, you know, I'm not supposed to just sit down and never do anything, this is different, you okay? Okay,
Yeah, I didn't think about it until like last year, like I had to keep leaving. Now, obviously, when he's in the hospital for the asthma, I was thinking on that end, but I wasn't, because he was hospitalized a lot. But once they put him on regimen, once he turned 6, they put him on a regimen, and he's not hospitalized like that. We have maybe 4 or 5 emergency room visits a year where he's there for about 6 hours for observation. They let us go.
But you got a lot of history of information.
Oh, my
that you
gosh.
can share with the people that will make a decision for you.
It's hard, Tim. it's hard.
And you may be.
It's starting to become hard for me now, like,
Yeah.
And
I
also
can't
the
work
money,
like
the
I
money
used
to
to.
help perhaps with somebody to help you with him.
A caregiver, exactly.
You know, you
Yeah.
need some time to yourself, you need
Right.
something other, you know. Yeah, you should.
There
look
is
at
a
that.
young lady I met, my assistant, she's not here, her sister, they work for a daycare for children who have medical disabilities. She said it's on limb term. I'm gonna get some more information about it. Make sure I get your name and number and I give it to you, because as a mom, you gotta have a break.
Yeah.
So who's running against?
You break down.
Are you running against someone? Are you
Kim
Kim
Daniels,
Okay,
this
okay.
other pastor, Luke Cockley, and this write-in, Breonna Parsons. And
Okay.
all three of them is not real Democrats.
No.
They're not doing.
We got quite a few people in that, with that, party affiliation that are not
Right.
really, but see Democrats.
We have to be educated to know the difference.
I know.
Who's real and who's not. You know,
The work they're doing.
they look at her voting record and look who's giving her money.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gotta talk about her. Just look at who's funding her, who's buying her.
Right,
And then how is she getting her vote? Is she
Right.
paying folks?
exactly.
You know, because trust me, she got every time I have one of these, she has spies here. They sitting in the library, they watching, I know. They're trying to intimidate, but you got the wrong sister for that. You got the wrong sister for that. That don't work. I will smile in your face and say, hey, how you doing? And keep it going.
So
That
what,
don't work.
another concern I have,
Yes,
I remember, I think it was Audrey Gibson, when she decided to run for a different office, they forced her to resign from the position she had in order to run for the other office.
That was,
Right. That Audrey Gibson?
She went to the state.
I think she ended up losing, but she had to, before she could.
No,
Was that
Audrey
when she-
Gibson, she seated out. She ran her full term.
Right.
Next 8 with the state. Senator Gibson, Tracy Davis took her seat.
Right.
So then she came back to run for mayor against Donna Lee. That's the last
That's
race
the
that
last
I
race
know
she
of.
ran.
So they were, who was it that, I thought it was her, they made her step down. She couldn't take office, and then fast forward,
She ran against Tony Hill.
Ron DeSantis
Congress.
wrote it into law.
Congressional seat, that's when she decided to step down.
The same governor, you can't keep this office and run for this one, wrote it into law so he could run for president
and come back and be
right,
governor
right, same time.
until 2027, we gotta deal with him.
Right.
26.
26? Oh God, that's even worse. I mean, that's not worse because we still gotta wait until 2027 before we
Well, see,
start having to do.
this is why.
We really
Because they have the
It's-
trifecta, correct?
Right.
That's what it is.
Right, and this is why we need to have Democrats to take over the House and the Senate,
Right.
because none of his legislation will pass anymore. Even though we'll try to repeal it, and he may veto it, but it will everything will halt, just like they did Obama, and when he was in office.
They
He
stopped him on
had to
every
do
turn.
executive order,
Yep.
because Congress wouldn't pass nothing.
Right.
This is what we got to do in the Florida House and Senate. Democrats need to control both
He
houses.
didn't really do the pass Obamacare, if you look at it, but it wasn't the plan that he really wanted.
Right, I'll be affordable
But we just had to go, go along with it to get something.
So what I'm gonna say to you is, as a mom raising a son, you raise 2 sons. It is not easy. It's gonna be a fight to get him disability as a black boy.
Don't stop.
But don't you get discouraged. Don't you give up, because your son gonna thank you later. And the reason why I'm saying that, I had to help a grandmother when I was working at the state. Her grandson, same age as yours. They kept working on an old IEP. They would never update the IEP. They never paid attention to what he liked and how he learned. I spent 30 minutes with her grandson. I knew he liked to play games. I knew he loved art. I knew he loved to read, but he liked to read animation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the grandmama, I said, do you have computers in your classroom? He said, yes. I said, do your teacher use your, do teachers allow you to use it? He said, no. And I told the grandmama, I said, you need to demand a new IEP meeting, and you need to incorporate all these I gave her a list of assistive technologies to help her grandson. I said, you need to demand an answer for this. She said, well, Ms. Gamble, what if they don't listen to me? I called the Florida Department of Education, Exceptional Education Department. I connected grandmama to the director that's over the one here in the district. That lady came from Tallahassee and met the grandmama at our job. I stayed out. She said, Miss Gamble, I want you. I said, no. I said, you got to do this.
Right.
I said, she said her daughter-in-law was way out there. I said, don't. I said, tell your daughter-in-law to come, but she can't say nothing because she gonna mess it up for your grandson. Because she his mother, out of respect, she got to be in her room. I said, but grandmama, you got to do the talking.
Right.
I said, oh, that lady is not gonna give your grandson what he needs. So she brought me all his IEPs, and I sat down and went through every last one of them. And I put in there what she needed to suggest and ask for what the teacher needed to be doing. She took that blueprint, she went into that meeting. Before that lady left here to go back to Tallahassee, she went to Duval County Public School. I think that was a Friday she came up here. That next Tuesday, that grandmama came and told me, she said, Miss Gamble, whatever you put in that paper, that lady expedited it for my grandson. And she texted me, I think it was 3 years ago, his high school graduation picture.
Oh my goodness.
He about tall as my husband, big, about wide as me. Done graduated because I equipped grandma with the information to make sure her grandson got the help and the resources with that money that the schools give to make sure he learned. But and she wrote a beautiful letter, and when I saw him in person, I almost didn't recognize him, and he hugged me.
Oh,
he said, "Thank you, Miss Kim." That's the type of representative you need to have when you can't get nothing moving here on this local level, because they don't like to be called on the carpet from the state or the federal government level. They don't like that.
Right.
But I'm the type of person, I will connect you who you need to connect, and I will stay connected to make sure you get the results you need to benefit you and your child. So don't get frustrated.
For the rest of his life.
So he's good. Really? So now, and I told grandma to take that same information and go apply for him to get disability. Still, allow him to explore what he want to explore, but that money will help him if he has to have special equipment, special technology that y'all can't afford. That's what that is for.
I have to ask questions before I have to do. This is something I want to make sure I understand because I came here to get this information to take it back to my sisters.
Okay. Where are your sisters at? Why are your sisters in?
They couldn't come. They couldn't.
Got it.
So anyway, the thing is, we didn't understand the whole thing about the school system in regards to children. This is what I explained to her.
Okay.
I said once those children leave and go to a charter school or go to a private school, and after the FTE count, that's when the private schools and charter schools start kicking them out. They start kicking them out because they're behaving proper, whatever. Now they can because there is no law.
Right.
Like the public schools,
they don't have no governance.
They have no governance. Okay, so they kick them out. But once they kick them out, they go back to the public school. But the public school don't get the money because the money stays at the private school.
That's it.
So that's what you saying?
Right. That's what you need. Your sisters need to do the actual official paperwork to officially withdraw them. And then they got to make sure when they go back, you got to go to the school district downtown first. Not the school that in the neighborhood. You got to go to the district.
Okay.
So they can make sure that they are included in the district public school FTE count.
So why, I don't understand, why would the school, if they, let's say for example, he transferred from over the school over here, I can't think of the name of the school. He transferred out of that school to go into, he went to the charter school. So now, he's going back to the public school. Why don't the public school tell the parents to do that?
No, they're not, because your sister made the choice to take him out. School choice. The district is not going to
so the public school cannot tell them, ma'am, we're not going to get any funding for this. You need to go down there. Oh,
exactly.
But why is that? It certainly is a secret. That's what I was thinking.
It is not a secret. It's just like the program says, school choice. A parent can choose to come, take their child out of public school and take them to charter school, and a parent can make the choice to take them out of charter school, put them back in public school, but you got to make sure the paper trail is going following your child. Because if there is no paper trail, there's no proof that actually even happened.
But he's in the public school.
It doesn't matter. If they did not go to the district, to the school enrollment office and say, my child did transfer to such and such school, he withdrew on this date. In other words, she got to bring official withdrawal paperwork from that charter school. And paperwork from the school she enrolled him in, and take it to the district so they can update their district records. then the district can go to the Florida Department of Education and request for the dollars that went to that charter school,
Okay.
come back to the school district for the school he's in now. But if there's no paper trail, that means it never happened.
So how would that be a paper, let's say you left the public school and went to a charter school?
They had to withdraw it.
They have to withdraw, they have to withdraw, but don't you have to withdraw from, you have to withdraw from the public school?
You withdraw from Duval County Public Schools. But isn't the charter, because I ain't wrote him an idea.
Let me help
And
y'all
they're
out with
saying
charter
that-
school, because we had our son in charter school, and I tried to file a complaint with them and get the state involved. Charter school, the Florida Department of Education do not have no oversight over
That's
it.
right. They don't have
They
no
can't
oversight.
tell, they can't, fine them, they can't fire their teachers, they can't suspend their teachers, they have no oversight.
Right.
It is between the parent and their charter school. So the only way you have to find out who is accrediting those private schools, you have to go after the accreditation of their school to file a complaint on them. And then you need to know if they are accredited. They could be in probationary status. They could be in, they could not be fully accredited.
So
that
why
you got
do
your
our
school.
parents, my concern is, do parents really understand this?
Yeah, I didn't
What's going
understand
on
that.
with this
I'm
charter
not a
school?
parent, but they don't.
No.
Because I got sisters who are parents. They've never had a
No.
conversation that we're having here
No.
about schools going, one child going here and so they don't know. If we are uneducated people and the charters, and help me, Theresa, if those charter schools, they don't have an oversight over them.
Nah.
That's why DeSantis did what he did and put
Exactly.
all of it in it so the parents can have their parents' bill of rights and all this kind of
Okay,
stuff.
no,
that he
it's
put
more
out.
than that. Let me help you out.
Okay, help me. That's what I said.
It's
Help
a
me
little
on
bit
that.
more than that. Okay. Remember, they talking about Project 2025, right?
Right.
If you get a hold to that, go to chapter 11.
Okay.
It
That's
deals
it.
with Department of Education.
Okay.
They want to get rid of the Federal Department of Education,
Yep.
where public schools are housed.
Okay.
So by doing so, DeSantis did this voucher program, so all these parents can take their children and shift them to public school. And when the children shift, where
Private school.
private school. So where's the money going? With the children, right?
Correct.
It's depleting the public schools.
Right.
While we're in a situation now where they're trying to close 30 public schools. That is part of the Project 2025. Florida is the pilot playground for Project 2025. And if they get it all right in this state, because we sleeping and won't vote, they're gonna duplicate this whole process through all the rest of 49 states in the
So
United States.
anybody pretty much, it seems like not anybody, you
So
know,
wait a minute.
start a charter school.
Yes, because they getting tired and frustrated because of these Republicans are funding. This dark money is funding these private schools. And we as black parents, we want our children to get the best education. That was my intention when I put our sons in this private schools. Because public school wanted to put our sons back because they couldn't pass a standardized test.
That's
but
a
they
problem.
making A's and B's during the year. So that was my solution to put them in private schools. Granted, I had to do it at the time because the way me and him was working, the school times wasn't working with our work schedule. So we had to keep them at the same school where it was conducive during that time before all this happened. But as parents, you can't, I know we want the best for our children, but if they pay teachers, we will get the teacher talent to produce the quality education our children need. Governor DeSantis does not have a teacher diversity recruitment program. So 58% of the student population in public schools is African Americans. And 68% of the teachers are white. They don't know our story. They don't know our struggle.
So what about,
So
if
please give your hold on, give
Right.
your sisters my information.
I will,
If they
I
want
will.
to talk to me, text me, I'll be more than happy. Or y'all have a homeowner social meeting or a parent, if y'all have a parent meeting, just let me, I will come talk, because I know about this education stuff. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, darling.
so what about, so if DeSantis wants, so what I thought about with that step up for students and all the other Hope Scholarship and all those things. So now that he's behind all of that,
Mhm.
will he now, because I was thinking about, taking my kids out of public school when they take black out of public school, okay, and going to private. So if he's over the private school now, is he not gonna pull the same tactic? Okay, if you guys teach black history, I'm gonna pull your funding. So is he over charter schools the same way?
So
Yes.
check this out. That money that's assigned to each student to learn. Greetings, Duval County. This is Therese v. Wakefield-Gamble. I am running for Florida House District 14 this August 20th primary, and I am super excited to tell you that the Duval County Supervisor of Elections has put the absentee vote by mail ballots in the mail on today. So I want to remind you to make sure you're checking your mail daily, and when you receive your ballot, sit down to that kitchen dining room table and select Therese v. Wakefield-Gamble for Florida House District 14, the real Democrat that's running in this primary on August 20th. And once you complete your ballot, make sure you turn it back in before August 20th, and share this video and message to your family and friends and neighbors to make sure they vote for me as well. I am the Democrat that will put community first and will put people over profits and make sure your tax dollars are being recycled back into District 14. So thank you in advance for your support. I look forward to meeting each of you, and remember, return your ballot as soon as possible. Have a great day.